welcome back, dear viewers. And as we discussed earlier, that we have, we were talking about wheat bran on our Twitter section of the segment of the show, and wheat bran is something that is infused within a lot of stuff that we consume, especially during breakfasts and like in cereals and muffins and bagels and homemade recipes. So we're gonna talk a little bit about those items. Like if we use within our cereals, replace sugary breakfast cereals or pastries with high fiber cereals is a very good way to add fiber to your diet. So the Harvard School of Public Health says that and recommends that as well. So many ready-to-eat breakfast cereals offer a wheat bran that boosts their the fiber content of our diet. So the fiber in the wheat bran promotes healthy digestion by adding bulk to your to our system, and also helping the digestive to dispose properly of our waste with no problems, and to avoid any colon disorders. So maybe a third of a cup of a serving of 100% wheat bran cereals offer 18 grams of dietary fiber. And also within a muffin, if we can also add the wheat bran in muffins and bagels, it also maintains this as well. And also you can use it in many homemade recipes. So it's something that you can help within your diet to increase the fibers within your diet. So I believe it's something that we recommend for our viewers to like introduce to our normal consumption daily, if possible. If it's not there already. So what do you think about this topic, Camille?
Certainly it's very, very healthy for us, Aziri. And certainly wheat bran is something that most people should be eating, and certainly breakfast foods, I think a lot of people already do have it in their diet, but if they don't, they should. And I have here a bit more information. Foods high in wheat bran fiber, with 12 grams of fiber per half cup, wheat bran may be one of the most fiber-rich foods you can eat. That half cup holds 48% of the recommended daily fiber intake of 25 grams for women and 32% of the recommended intake of 38 grams for men. The fiber in wheat bran is insoluble, meaning that your body can't digest it. However, fiber plays important roles in digestion and disease prevention. Wheat bran also provides protein, iron, B vitamins, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus and zinc. Breads. Wheat bran is the outer layer of the wheat kernel, which is removed from the grain during milling. The bran is reserved as a separate product to add fiber, vitamins and minerals to other foods, such as bread. You can also get wheat bran from whole grain wheat products because whole grains retain their bran. 2 slices of bread made with wheat bran offers 3 grams of dietary fiber, according to the United States Department of Agriculture.
Indeed, actually. So as I mentioned earlier, it's very important to have the wheat bran within our diets, and if we can like add like a six gram of fiber within is something that might change your whole day. So please try to use more of the wheat bran within your daily breakfast if possible, and also if you can introduce it to like you can find any way that you prefer, like if you want to have it like in a sandwich, or probably like in a cereal form or a muffin form, something that you like and prefer, and something it's more comfortable for you. So just go ahead and introduce wheat bran to your daily diets, and we hopefully that you will have a much healthier life, inshallah, and a well-balanced one, and that's what we wish for all our viewers, inshallah. I believe it's something that they should very much concentrate about, because there's a lot of things that we eat during the day that we never know the amount of artificial content in it. So I believe that having more of the natural and especially fiber contained substance like wheat bran is something that's very important.
Surely, Aziri, and I'm sure later on we'll be talking to Dr. Sami Lowand about a healthy heart, and he's probably going to say that this is one of the foods that's definitely going to be recommended for a healthy heart. But for now, we are going to move on to a report, and later on we will be welcoming our first guest this evening, so stay tuned.
DNA, also known as deoxyribonucleic acid, is found in all living organisms. It is the main molecule responsible for heredity, the passing of characteristics from parents to offspring. DNA is the instruction manual for how our bodies grow and develop. In humans, the majority of our DNA is found in the form of chromosomes. 22 autosome pairs and the sex chromosomes X and Y. A person inherits one set of autosomes and one sex chromosome from each parent, for a total of 46 chromosomes. Chromosomes are found in nucleated cells of the body, for example, epithelial cells, such as cheek cells and hair root, white blood cells, and muscle cells. Chromosomes are tightly bundled strings of DNA. Stretch out the DNA and you'll find that it takes the form of a double helix at the molecular level, much like a spiral staircase or a twisted ladder. This DNA ladder is made up of chains of 4 different nucleotides. Each nucleotide consists of a nitrogen base, a sugar, and a phosphate. The phosphates form the backbone of the DNA ladder. Hydrogen bonds connect specific nitrogen bases, forming the rungs of the ladder or the steps of the staircase. The nitrogen bases are adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine, abbreviated A, T, G, and C, the 4 letters that make up the DNA alphabet. Only A pairs with T and G with C. This specific pairing of DNA is vital to the DNA replication process, as we'll see later on. The sequence of these letters along the DNA chain is the code for various biological functions that dictate growth and development. There are approximately 3 billion nucleotide pairs in the human genome.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and hopefully you have enjoyed this report about chromosome disorders. And fortunately, we have on the show here with us a very distinguished guest who's specialized in cytogenetics and molecular cytogenetic director at the Thuraya Medical Center. We have Dr. Maher Hassan Al-Jahidan with us. We'd like to welcome you to our show. How are you, sir?
Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much for hosting me here in your very nice program.
So perhaps maybe you can let us know a little bit more about chromosome disorders, and perhaps to in like a simple form for our viewers who do not have any idea about this disorder, to perhaps know more about this, please.
Yeah. Firstly, we can define the chromosome word. The chromosome, it's a Greek word, came from chrome, meaning colored, and soma, it's mean body. So it's the colored body. Chromosome is a very organized rod-shaped structure. It's present in the nucleus, and it's a very nice shape. You can see it under a microscope, so you can see if it's normal or abnormal under your microscope. And you imagine that the nucleus is like a book. You can say that the chromosome is like a chapter of this book, and the protein is like a pages, and the genes that the chromosome already carry, our genes, is like a paragraph in this book.
Oh, so if we also can elaborate about the reproductive genetic system as well, if possible.
Yeah. The reproductive genetics is a nice science composed of medical genetics and reproductive medicine and assisted reproduction. So it's a very nice, in this science we light up the road for the physician and the patient to, at the end, hopefully we wrote smile or draw a smile on the parents to get a healthy baby without any genetic disorder or chromosomal disorders.
Amazing. So also, if, there's new testing methods for DNA fragmentation and for example, for instance, semen and sperm. And if you can tell us a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah. You have to know that always we have something in you. Maybe monthly, maybe weekly, there is something new in our science. The new test we also have it in our center is the test of the genetic material, the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, inside the sperm. So we can know if the sperm, maybe you can see the sperm is normal, but you cannot see inside the sperm. So we go deeply inside the sperm and see the genetic material of the sperm, if it's broken or fragmented. So it's a very nice new method to help our patient to explain the unexplained infertility.
Dr. Maha, first of all, what is the job, if you could tell us, what is the job of the X and Y chromosome? What do they do?
The X and Y is the sex determination system in our body. As males, we have X and Y. The females have X chromosome. So the one who have the responsibility to determine the gender of the baby is the man, because he have X and Y. If he has sperm of carrying X chromosome, it will become the baby XX if this sperm was very good and fertilized the egg. And if our sperm or the sperm that inject or fertilize the oocyte and the egg carry the Y chromosome, it will become a baby boy. So the XY is a very nice and very good system to determine the sex.
And also, Dr. Maha, now talking about the chromosome disorders, a lot of people, most people have heard of Down syndrome. But what's the other most common disorders, chromosome disorders?
Maybe everybody knows the Down syndrome because it's the very popular and very common disorder. It's a trisomy of chromosome 21. If the baby have 3 copies of chromosome 21, it will become Down. The most common or the other common disorders regarding the chromosomes, it's trisomy 13, Batau syndrome, and trisomy 18, which means this baby or the affected baby have 3 copies of chromosome 18, and the Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome, XO, and XXY. These syndromes cover around 80% of the most common. We test these syndromes before doing anything, so we can help the patient before they already have the baby to know if this embryo is normal regarding this abnormalities or if it's affected. So we can help them before doing anything.
So how actually do you diagnose this genetic disorders? Is there like there's a lot of also preventive measures that now been taken before marriage. People go do blood tests and stuff like that. But how do you actually diagnose genetic disorders?
If we know that the couples that maybe have a genetic disorder, like a prenatal test or a pre-marriage test, they have to go to a special geneticist and to diagnose their blood, maybe their DNA or their genes. Like a prenatal test, if we think that this pregnant female may have a risk of get a Down baby, we extract regarding the pregnancy time, extract the maybe CVS or amniotic fluid and do culture for these samples, and after around 2 to 3 weeks we can get the result and know if this baby already have the syndrome or no, or we can take too much sample like peripheral blood to know if this couple, like if a male have azoospermia or a couple have some miscarriages. So we can help them to know if they are already have genetic problems or they are normal.
Well, right now we're going to go for a short report, after which we will be back with Dr. Maha Hassan Al-Gadan, and just stay tuned.
In contrast to the pathologist who looks at just like maybe 50 or 100 cells, we look at 5,000 cells per sample. The semen analysis is just simply looking at the sperm concentration, motility, morphology. We look inside the sperm, namely inside the DNA, and if the DNA is broken, if it's in the region of a gene that's necessary for embryo growth, the embryo may die. We can precisely determine the amount of, the percentage of sperm that have fragmentation and the degree of fragmentation. Exposure to pesticides and herbicides and to radiation and air pollution. We know that those factors have a negative effect on sperm quality, which may end up in poor pregnancy outcome. The couples that this is most useful for is those that have not had idiopathic, unknown fertility problems for like a year or more, and they don't know why they're not getting pregnant, or they've had a miscarriage or two. These couples, for a rather inexpensive test, can certainly then learn this, whether they have this problem or not, and try to fix it and so forth before they go on to the very expensive procedures of ICSI.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and hopefully you have enjoyed this brief report and learned more about chromosome disorders. We still are here with Dr. Maher Hassan Al-Gadan, who's going to let us know more about some of the causes of miscarriage. If you can perhaps highlight some measures or preventive measures that people may use to prevent such tragic incidents like miscarriages, God forbid.
Yeah, it's a very hot topic, the miscarriages. Regarding the chromosomes, we can say, before talking about chromosomes, that the causes or the really causes of the miscarriages is still not fully understood. But if most of the miscarriages happen in the first trimester, we can say that commonly the cause of this is a chromosomal abnormality. So if the couple have 2 or 3 times first trimester miscarriages, we advise them through our doctors to go to the genetics lab and do their karyotyping and chromosomal analysis to know if this is really the cause of the miscarriage. And there are also some other reason regarding the miscarriages, like infection or exposure to some toxics or hormonal abnormalities. There are too much reason, but regarding the chromosomals, we are focused in the first trimester abortions or miscarriages.
So you mentioned tests. How long does those tests take? Is it a lengthy process? Is it something that may be take a few days or months or hours?
Yeah. It depends on the sample itself. If we test peripheral blood, a blood sample, it's take from 2 to 3 weeks maximum. But if we test a sample like CVS or amniotic fluid, it take too much time. It's around 3 weeks exactly, because we do a long-term culture for these samples. But peripheral blood, we do a short-term culture. So we hope that from our couples to come early, to check with their doctors maybe every week, to see earlier if they have any problems or something like that.
Well, Dr. Maha, what is the most common genetic problems that we face here in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, the genetic problem, I think it's sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. The Saudi government here advise the couples they want to be married to do a pre-marital test regarding their genetic status. They have they have to do this test. Without this test, they cannot complete their marriage. The sickle cell anemia and the thalassemia, they are the most common, not here in Saudi Arabia, but I think in the Middle East.
And also, doctor, what are also the chances if a woman has a Down syndrome child? What are the chances of her having a second Down syndrome child?
Yeah, very, very nice question. Surely we advise, always we advise the couples if they have a Down syndrome to do the chromosomal analysis for the parent. Why? Because if they have a Robertsonian translocation, one of the parents have a Robertsonian translocation, the chances will be very high to get another baby. If they have already their parent, it's not de novo, but one of the parents have a translocation. So, as we know, always the couples who have Down syndrome baby, they surely or they must do a chromosomal analysis.
So also, we would like to, if doing an ultrasound, a female is doing a pregnant lady doing an ultrasound, and it showed two bilateral CPCs in her fetus. So, what does that mean? That
give us an indication that this baby maybe have a trisomy 18 or Down syndrome trisomy 21. So when the parent or the couples do the ultrasound for the female, if the ultrasonographer or ultrasounder have any indication for any abnormalities, they have already to do the chromosomal analysis to know 100% if this baby trisomy 18 or Down, to do what they have to do earlier.
Okay, and how can we increase the awareness about the importance of doing such tests? And thank God the government of the custodian of two holy mosques here in the kingdom issued that rule of pre-marriage blood testing, which is something that have decreased the disorders that Dr. Maher has mentioned. But how can we also increase the awareness of the public and the society about how to what they should do prior to getting married or prior to having a child, the importance of testing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that we have to make harmony between two words, hope and knowledge. The knowledge, it's a very, very important word to our people, to our community, to do too much educational program about the abnormalities of chromosomes, the abnormality of genetic disorders, because here in Saudi Arabia we have too much relative marriage. It's around, from all of the marriages, around 60 to 70%. So the percentage of have genetic disorder is very high here in Saudi Arabia. We have to do some programs to make our community aware regarding the genetics problems.
Well, yeah. Dr. Maha Hassan Al-Gidan, Cytogenetic and Molecular Cytogenetic Director from Turea Medical Center, we'd like to thank you very much for being on the program with us tonight and explaining so much about chromosomal disorders. And for the viewers out there, it's certainly shed a lot of light. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. And now we're going to go for a short report, after which we'll be back to welcome our second guest this evening. So stay tuned.